Welcome back to the Pink Elephant, y'all. I am Shanae and I am very excited to be here today. One of the things that I wanted to do was be consistent, and I gotta admit I have not. I just haven't. So many things have taken place. So between summer, and that means school being out for the kids, and just adjusting there, I've been busy. Like, I've been super busy, but I'm here. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm giving myself some grace. I'm gonna give myself as much grace as I possibly can. And my little rule of thumb is, Shanae, what would you tell your best friend? Okay, I would tell my best friend, girl, it's fine. When it's time, it's gonna be time, and don't worry about it. So that's what I'm telling myself. Okay. So now that I've said that, y'all, I went on Facebook and I posted and I asked the question, are there any readers out here? Are there any audiobook listeners? Because I have found myself addicted to audiobooks. Like, I am loving audiobooks. And for me, it's easy because I'm in my car a lot. Or if I have to travel by plane, I can just download the book, listen to the book, and it just is perfect. So I have been flying through books like left and right. So to my surprise, there are so many readers out here. So of course I want to know what everybody's been reading and find out what people are interested in, because I am like really, I've been hot, okay, in finding things that are making me think a lot deeper. So with that, I wanted to share a few books that I have been reading and I really like. I'm gonna grab this book so you all can see it. If you're watching me, you can see it. If you're listening, don't worry. I'm gonna give you the name of the book. This is called Boundary Boss by Terry Cole. This book is so good, okay? This book is for the people, for the women who have struggled with setting boundaries, understanding what they are okay with, what they're not okay with, those who have issues with codependency, so those people who thrive off helping others and they need that feeling of being needed, and they are problem solvers because it has something to do with them, you know, with yourself. So it goes into a lot in this book. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, one of the things I feel like is a great point in this book. So if you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you've probably seen a lot of people talking about boundaries. Be sure to say no. Know when to say no. Don't overwork yourself. Don't overcommit. Self-care, self-love. And they talk about boundaries, right? And that's good. Like, I really think that's a good thing. But I want to read to you what healthy boundaries are. Okay? So this is, if you have healthy boundaries, you value your own thoughts and opinions. You feel comfortable asking for and accepting help. You know when to share personal information and with whom. And lastly, you can accept and respect the boundaries of others, including someone saying no to a request. Okay? So that's like, and I really want to, let's really highlight that last one. Can you accept and respect the boundaries of others even when they say no? And the reason why I want to point that out is because it's one thing to set boundaries. It's one thing to know, like, I'm not willing to deal with this, or I'm going to start saying no to every single invite. No, I don't want to be a bridesmaid, so I'm not going to be a bridesmaid. That's great. But I think the thing that we have to make sure that we're also working through is learning how to respect other people's boundaries. So if someone says no when you ask them to do something, how do you respond to that? Are you really like okay with it and say okay and no hard feelings? Or do you say okay and have a grudge? Like, that's what we have to also work on that part too. Because naturally we want people to say yes to us. We want to get our way. That's what we want to do. But if someone says, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to take your hair appointment that you made at the last minute, can you respect it, or are you going to feel some kind of way about that? Okay, so that's something, okay, you got to start digging into that. Because when you've reached a point of understanding that you have to respect other people and where they are, it changes the way that we move as women, right? So we have less of a tendency to think the negative things immediately about the person, and we have more of a natural reaction to understand that that's their boundary and they're setting it for a reason, and they have to take care of themselves before they take care of me. Okay, so I'm gonna say that a little bit more. Let me be specific. Okay, Specifically, I'm saying to you that if your friend is not able to make it to your baby shower or your wedding or your, let's say, it could be the biggest thing, right? We have to be okay with understanding that for whatever reason, whether we agree with it or not, those are their choices. And I use extreme circumstances because I want to make sure that we understand that we have to make it extend across the board. We can't pick and choose how we want to respond to someone's no's. Even when we don't feel like it's warranted, even when we don't feel like we agree with it, we have to be able to, within ourselves, accept it and move on. Now, that's not to say that you can't then move differently with them. I do believe that you have an opportunity and a right to analyze where you all are in your friendship and your relationship, and then make a choice based on your boundaries and what you want, right? So it's all about understanding mutually that you have an assignment and they have an assignment, and you all both have an agreement to have the space to agree to disagree and move on. So that's what I think about when I think about healthy boundaries of others. And I wanted to also paint the picture that, you know, I believe that we as women, we don't give each other enough grace. So there are many days where I'm not feeling my very best. I might have a lot going on, a lot of thoughts going on, a lot of emotions. Something may have happened when I left my house. I might be having something going on with work. All these things might be going on. So I might not come in the best way that I always want to come because I may be heavy or I might have things going on within me. And knowing that I have those moments, then I have to also realize that there are other women who also have those same moments and have those same feelings. It might be different scenarios and situations, but they too carry things with them. And how I respond to them, it says a lot about having empathy. And so therefore we're not quick to get attitudes with each other. We're not judging each other. We're not trying to like make somebody into a bitch when they're just having a day. Like, we don't know what's behind everything. Okay. All right, so that's Terry Cole, Boundary Boss. Don't worry, I will put the link to the book in the description box, and that way you can check it out. But definitely a must read, okay? Must read. So I talked a lot about boundaries, so this leads me right into my next book. A friend of mine told me to check out The 4 Agreements. Now, before I get into the next comment about these books, I have 2 more books to share. If you're not in a place in your life where you're really doing a lot of self-work and you're not like ready to dig deeper into who you are and why you are the way you are, I would not suggest these next couple of books, because you're not going to be able to receive it as openly as you want to when you're in a place of like curiosity and the longing to be better. Okay, so save these next 2 books until you're in a space where you're really looking to dig deeper into who you are. Okay, so with that being said, The 4 Agreements. I can't remember the author right now, but I will show you the book here. See, and I will also put it in the description box in case you want to check it out. But the one thing I want to touch on, because there's a lot in this book, okay, these agreements that are discussed in the book, it helps you to think differently. It helps you to live a life that is way more carefree and present. And it examines the way that we have been taught to think and the things that we have learned from our environment and from the world, and how that has made us who we are today. So it's that type of deep of a book. Okay, so again, you know, it's one of those books where you're really analyzing how you were brought up, why you have the feelings and emotions you have now, things like that. One of the things in the book, and it goes right hand in hand to giving grace, like I discussed from Boundary Boss, is not taking things personally. Okay, so one of the agreements is to not take things personally. And that sounds so light, right? But it's not. The reason why I love this agreement the most is because a lot of times we build our own emotions and our own frustrations on our own when we really don't have to, because everything isn't about us. So a lot of times we internalize how people respond to us, or what others do to us, or we didn't like the way someone was towards us. Instead, we should understand that it's not even about me. It's not about me, and therefore I don't have to accept what was given. Anybody can do anything to you, but you have the right and you have the power to respond the way that you feel is the way to respond. okay? So I'm gonna give an example of not taking things personally. I just shared, like, if you have a friend who, you know, is unable to attend something that you're throwing, an event, and your natural instinct is to wonder, like, oh my goodness, why not? I'm always there for her. You know, you can start going down the rabbit hole of all these different things. But when you don't take things personally, you're able to say, okay, she may have something going on that will not allow her to be present like she would like to be for me, and therefore it's not within my control, and it's not something that I should take on as anything malicious or anything like that. You know what? Okay. All right. And that's a very, very light example, because that's something that we can do day to day. But I'm gonna give you an outside example of that. That's something that we can practice just on strangers, okay? I love customer service. I'm big on customer service. Like, if I pull up to any drive-through, or if I go to a restaurant, or if I go anywhere where there's service being provided and I'm paying for it, I expect a certain level of service, because I try my best to respect everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. I am going to respect you, so therefore I expect the same back. Well, there was a situation, you know, I pull up to Bojangles, and the way that her tone was with me, the attitude, because I'm gonna tell you something now, these drive-thrus, it's getting crazy out here. I don't know if y'all have experienced it, but people do not care about work, and therefore it's translating into the service that's provided. But I was so upset, y'all, the way that she was talking to me, so much so that I got out my car, I went inside, and I told her, I said, you know, I do not appreciate the way you were talking to me. I'm here just to get some food for my son. I come here all the time, and the way that you were talking to me was disrespectful. Now, I was very calm, and I said everything I needed to say. But if I had learned what I learned now, and understanding not to take things personally, I would have taken a step back from that situation, right? I would have had a chance to pause and say, you know what, I don't know what or who that person is on the other side of this, on the other side of the speaker, right? I don't know what happened before she left for work. I don't know if her mother is sick. I don't know if her child has passed away. I don't know if she has money to get home. I don't know if she's being beaten. Like, it's so many layers to humanity, right? And who are we to judge and be so critical and be the person that says, you know, I gotta call you out and I gotta straighten you out? Like, who are we to do that? You know, now I'm not saying you have to accept disrespect, because make no mistake, they will not get my money, okay? But at the same time, I don't have to be the person to go in there and let her know everything about herself. Like, I don't have to do that, because if I continue to put out good energy and I continue to be positive and I continue to shine light, that's what I'm giving out, and it will come back into me. I don't have to accept the energy that she gave me. I can leave it right where it was at, got my food, and went on with my day, and it would continue to be a good day. You see what I'm saying? So it's deeper than just like, I feel offended. Well, why? Why do you feel offended? You know, it's examining those things. So anyway, I said a lot, but what I'm trying to help you understand is this book is helping with understanding who you are and the person you want to be while you're here on earth. It dives into what we've learned and been conditioned to think, is it really that way? Can we be better than that? Is it something beyond us? Is it something bigger than us? And it absolutely is. So that leads me into my next book. So I am a person who likes to listen to motivational things or positive things. So I took on I guess, I don't know what you want to call it. I committed myself to listening to some type of like motivational speeches in the morning, and I got hooked on Oprah. And if you haven't checked out Oprah, her motivational speeches or her speeches in general, go on YouTube, click on one, and you're going to thank me, okay? She's been through so much, and a lot of it I don't even know about, but in her speeches she talks about like being the person you want to be. And I love that. I love coming into the idea that I can do and be whoever I want to be, irregardless of my circumstances, irregardless of my education, experience. No one can write my path for me. And that's power. That's power, okay? Let me take a sip of water real quick. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So while I was listening to one of her speeches, she mentioned or referenced an author by the name of Eckhart Tolle. And I think it's Eckhart Tolle or Eckhart Tolle. And the name of his book is A New Earth. And y'all, okay, when I tell you this book has been a game changer for me, it has been a game changer. So just in terms of the way that I think, right? In terms of like I want to live the best life I can live while I'm here, right? I don't want to live a life where I'm in fear. I don't want to live a life where I'm just doing day-to-day activities and I'm not taking in the fact that it's a blessing to be here. I don't want to live a life where I assume that I'm going to live the next breath and not take advantage of the moment I'm in now. So it talks about your conscious mind and how you can be present and how to be still and how to listen to yourself and listen to your spirit, listen to God, seek God, and understand that there's something bigger and greater than us. Y'all, when I tell you it's such a good book, I have chills just thinking about like some of the aha moments that I had listening to the book and understanding that a lot of things that I care about and I take so seriously are not that serious ultimately. The thing that is, what I'm learning is like ultimate happiness has nothing to do with status. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with how many people know you. It has nothing to do with even your family. It's about who you are and how you view the world, your mindset about the world, your mindset about yourself. Those are the things that really create happiness, and it allows you to share that happiness with those who are around you, the people you love. And that is what we want to do. Like the more and more like each individual person on this earth is able to find that inner happiness, that inner peace, that core spirit to their soul, we're all going to be so much better people. The hate that exists would not exist. And so much empathy would come across in how we go throughout our day-to-day interactions with each other. So one thing I want to point out, and I want to illustrate the consciousness because I know that it sounds so like broad and bizarre, but it challenges you to think bigger, right? So on the surface, I'm just recording a podcast episode. So you can either see me or hear me, or you might be watching and reading the captions. And you're just watching a podcast right now, sitting somewhere watching me talk to y'all. But what's deeper than that? If we dug a little bit deeper than that, right? We would take a second to reflect on the fact that right now, my voice is entering the ears of whoever you are right now listening to me, wherever you are. You could be in Pakistan, you could be in Africa, you can be in Chicago, you can be in Detroit. But right now, you are connected to me and I am connected to you. And this moment right here is meant to be, and it's intentional, and it was made for us to share in. And how powerful is that to know that you are connected with me? I'm not just sitting on this couch recording myself doing a podcast episode. I'm sitting on this couch and there is someone else, whoever you are right now, under the sound of my voice, and you're listening and you're connected to me. Wow. And that's just specific for you. This moment was just for you and me, whoever you are. And I feel connected to you in knowing that. And that's what it is. That's about looking at why we're here, what we're doing, how we're making impact, connecting to it on a deeper level, not just saying I'm here recording. So if you are there, if you want to get there in your mindset and you want to change the way that you think and change the way that you live, and you wake up every morning and you decide today is a good day, and it is, that is what Eckhart Tolle's book is going to do for you. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. And I please let me know if you're reading books and what books I can read. Let me know if you check out these books. Let me know what you think about them. If you haven't already, go over to Instagram and TikTok and follow me at @thepink_elephant_ by Shanae. I will follow you back. I am not one of those people like, y'all, I'm doing this because I love it and I want to be here. I want to have conversations and connect with you all. So please reach out to me and comment and share, and I'll follow and I'll share and I'll comment let's talk. I don't want to leave. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. I have just launched my little shop, the Pink Elephant Shop, and I have designed 2 summer mugs, and I am in love with them. The mug I have here is not online. This is one that I made for myself, but the ones online is the In Full Bloom. And being in full bloom, if you haven't heard me talk about this, being in full bloom is being in a space where you are open to being the best version of yourself. You are realizing the power you have and making moves in the direction that best serves you. That's being in full bloom. So I made a mug, and I hope that you love it. Go check it out, and click the link in my bio, and it'll take you right to the shop, and get yourself one, and maybe someone else you love. But until then, y'all, this is the Pink Elephant, and I'm signing off. I love y'all. Bye.